So here we have our pork mince. So we'll bust this open and we'll add some other ingredients to it. So I'm going to add some hot paprika, some cayenne pepper, and some chili, some ground chili. I'm going to add some dry herbs, some oregano leaves, and some mixed herbs. Okay, so we'll throw in some oregano, some mixed herbs, some cayenne pepper, some hot paprika, some ground chili, I have 1 brown chopped onion. We'll add that to the mix. I'll add some garlic. Now we're going to mix this all together. I'm going to add 1 egg to help bind this together. Okay, so now it's time to make the burger patties. Okay, so here's our pork burger patties. Now I'm going to put them in the fridge for a bit just to see if I can firm them up a little bit more. Then we'll make the applesauce to go with this, and I'm going to have a spicy mayo with it as well. So I found this Applesauce stuffing ball mix. I might sprinkle this a little bit on top just so it gets a bit of a crust on it. I might do a couple with this and a couple without and see which I prefer. Okay, so I put the stuffing mix on a couple of the patties. Okay, so now I'm going to make a quick applesauce. I've got 2 different types of apples here, so I'm just going to chop them up, throw them in the pan with some water, and cook them up. I did start peeling them, but then I thought, who has time for that? So I'm just going to leave the skin on and hope for the best. So let's make this burger. I did make a middle bun. I basically cut another bun in half and just used the bottom piece. So we'll put some of our sauce on first. The mayo, seeded mustard, Frank's red hot sauce, and I put a bit of lemon juice into that. So now we're going to add some of our applesauce to this. Okay, now we'll add some bacon. Now let's get the pork burgers. I did chuck a little bit of lettuce on just to, add a little bit of healthiness. And I'm going to splash a little bit of Frank's red hot sauce on top of these burgers. So here we have the Phunken Hungry double pork burger. Normally I probably would have had a single patty because obviously these are quite big. But I just wanted to try one with the stuff in, one without, see how they go. For bun, obviously it's a little bit too much probably, really. I am Phunken Hungry, but sometimes, this is a little bit too much, really. This is going to be a huge meal. In hindsight, I should have peeled the apples. It was starting to get dark, and in the kitchen, the light isn't as bright as it is in here. So in the kitchen, it was quite dark. I needed to have my flash on. So this is a bit of an experiment to see if people like me to do my own cooking, see how I go. It's not the best video. I've recorded a lot of it by hand. I need to clear a space so I can, have a tripod and do it properly. If people do enjoy this video, if it gets quite a lot of views, I might continue this series. I was going to add hot sauce and maple syrup together and make like a maple glaze and add that to the bacon. But as I said, I was running out of time. It's basically dark now, and yeah, I still haven't ate. And this is heavy as. This is stupid. I'm not the biggest fan of pork. I do like ham and bacon, funny enough. Roast pork's okay, and pulled pork and pork chops. But really, I'm more of a beef kind of guy, and I really love my lamb. Lamb is probably one of my favourite meats. Now, on TasDaz's live stream, we was talking about making different burgers. Mayhem said, oh, you know, if you worked at McDonald's or if you was, you know, in the office, what sort of burgers would you suggest that they put out? And I said, oh, you know, maybe something creative like a pork burger with applesauce. And it just gave me this idea, so here it is. Would you get this at McDonald's? How much would they charge for that? Probably $100, right? You know, it's probably a good $20 burger though here. Like, it's huge. This a try, the Phunken Hungry double pork burger with applesauce and hot sauce mayonnaise. Cheers. I don't know how I'm gonna eat this, seriously. We'll have to do the old flip it upside down. Man, that's just full of flavour. It's definitely a little bit spicy, so if you do want to make this and you don't like your spice, don't add the hot sauce to the mayonnaise, don't add the cayenne pepper and the chili to the pork. It does have a bit of a kick to it. So juicy though. You know, pork can be a little bit dry because you have to cook a little bit more than beef. Beef you can kind of have a bit more rare. But yeah, I haven't even got to the applesauce yet. But yeah, full of flavour, full of juice, full of moisture. Definitely should have done a single just so I can sort of taste the ingredients a bit more. It's absolutely funkin' delicious. I haven't even got to the bacon and the applesauce yet. But the onions and the garlic, all those spices and herbs, they really add a nice flavour to that pork. The cheese obviously adds some creaminess. I need to get to the bacon and the applesauce. I'll probably flip it around and eat from the other side, hey? Now I'm tasting the applesauce. I added cinnamon to it and some sugar, so it's really nice and sweet. I did try the applesauce, obviously, once I cooked it. And yeah, it was really sweet, but it was really nice, sweet. It had that spiciness from the cinnamon. Yeah, this is a crazy burger. So the sweetness from the applesauce and all the chili and the spices on the pork, they mix really well together. You know, it's a little bit spicy, a little bit herby. You had that sweetness. You had that sweetness. It cuts through it. The only thing I'm not really feeling on this burger is the lettuce. It adds a little bit of a weird texture. You know, it's all nice and soft and it goes together and creamy. The lettuce just takes you away from that a little bit. Having to sort of, you know, pull it. It's a little bit fibrous. Alright, I'll have one more bite, then I'll wrap up the video. I'm going to go for this bacon and applesauce part. This burger is funkin' crazy and funkin' delicious. I really like the sauce that I made on this. That seeded mustard. The hot sauce comes through. It makes it a little bit spicy. But then the lemon as well obviously gives it that citrus flavour. But those ingredients work really well together. When I tried the sauce before I put it on the burger, it had this nice subtle hot sauce flavour in the background. And that was before I put the lemon in it. And when I put the lemon into it, it just had this nice citrus flavour. Really nice sauce. I'll definitely make that again on a different burger. I think that would go well on chicken. I think that would go well on beef. Basically anything, you know. Even your neighbour's cat, as I always say. Now, the applesauce was good. I wish that I did make a little bit more. I still do have a little bit left over, but I wish I made like twice as much. I didn't want to make too much because, you know, it's only me eating it. But I do wish that I made a little bit more just so I can add a little bit more onto this. One thing I'm not really tasting that much is the stuffing mix I put onto one of the pork patties. But that's probably because there's so much going on and there's quite a lot of bread here. And if I made this again, or in hindsight, I would have just made a single, because I think like you would have been able to taste it all more. You know, if you had one pork burger, some bacon, some cheese, you had the applesauce and then the mayonnaise sauce that I made, and then the hot sauce and all that stuff, I think it would have worked a lot better. Less bread, you would have tasted the ingredients a lot more. But I am funkin' hungry, so I had to do some crazy stuff, especially for my first cooking video. Look at that. Look at all the layers on this. That's just nuts. But yeah, if this tasted bad, I would tell you. You know, I'd call it an epic fail. But yeah, this is actually really tasty. As I said, I was a little bit skeptical, a little bit worried if I'd like the pork. Normally I make beef burgers, and I like beef burgers to be kind of simple. Sometimes I do add garlic and herbs and spices and onion. Normally when I make beef patties, I treat it like a steak. You know, I kind of try to keep it simple. I normally just add salt and pepper after I form the patties, and I normally don't add eggs or nothing to it. You just get some minced beef or ground beef or whatever you call it. And then I make the patties, and then I add salt and pepper and then put it on the grill and then add cheese to it. I feel like the pork would have been a bit bland or a bit plain because it's not as fatty, because pork mince isn't as fatty as beef normally. But I think these really worked well with the onions. I think the onions and stuff added some moisture to the burger, and I feel like all the spices and herbs really complemented the pork. Now we'll try a little bit of this. The stuffing one. Let's see if this does sort of taste like stuffing. This one definitely tastes different than the other one. It does have that sage and onion flavour coming from the breading. So yeah, it definitely has that stuffing sort of flavour to it. So yeah, when I eat it like that, the pork flavour is pretty strong. I guess I did make kind of thick patties as well. But I think it obviously works well as a burger with all these other ingredients than just separate by itself. I mean, each to their own. Some people probably love pork or love pork burgers. But I'm the type of person that just likes the beef patties even by themselves, you know. I don't even have to put them in a burger. I can just eat beef by itself, especially with some melted cheese on it. When I do steak as well, I just keep them simple like I mentioned before. And as I'm resting the steak, I like to spray some lemon on top. That's just really nice. If you've never tried lemon on top of a steak, it's absolutely funkin' delicious. But anyway, this video has been long enough, so I'll wrap it up. But let me know in the comments if you like what I did. Do you like these silly cooking videos? Because yeah, it took ages to do this. You know, I was doing it sort of like 5 o'clock in the evening. It's probably like 8, 9 o'clock now. So yeah, absolutely crazy. But I might do these every now and again when I come up with some ideas. Now, I do have some other burger ideas, so I'll probably do a few burgers first and then maybe move into some other food, but we'll see how we go. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could please like, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. This is G from Phunken Hungry, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.